Thank you, Madam President. Earlier this week, there were some conversations about sanctuary cities, and I would just simply say, uh, initially, I felt a little down and disparaged by the calls that were coming into my office of hatred uh, and anger, but I feel much more encouraged um, by the many and overwhelming majority of folks who actually spoke in favor of caring about folks who are not illegal, who are actually undocumented. Because as Mel King likes to say, no human can be illegal. I pretty emotional for me, so I actually wrote a statement so I can be hopefully concise. Um, First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Pastor Martin Lamolier. Councillor Josh Zakim led the charge on this body to pass the Trust Act. And this body courageously and unanimously passed the Trust Act, an act preserving the relationship between our residents, constituents, and neighbors, and our police department, our city services and schools, and all of us, public servants, who are here to help our residents. I stand to honor what leadership looks like. And today it looks like a man, a son who carries the torch of his father that continues to burn and be shown in his daily work. It also looks like this body who stood and continues to stand for what is right, a body that sees the human in humanity, a body that knows that a human can never be can have an undocumented status, but that a human and the human spirit can never be illegal, as a great Bostonian, Mel King, teaches us. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. That's the words of Martin Luther King. In the face of a surge in hate crimes nationally, up by 6%, the New York Times reports there have been 257 reports of assaults and attacks on mosques and other hate crimes against Muslims this year, a jump of 67% over 2014. It was the highest total since 2001, and more than 480 attacks occurred in the aftermath of 9/11. We must not only act, we must ask ourselves, what does one nation under God with liberty and justice for all really mean? And how do we make that a reality for all Bostonians? We must assure and reassure our undocumented citizens that that is real for them. Some of our families came here as immigrants. Some changed their name, not because they wanted to, but because they had to meet the criteria to enter. Some of our families were brought here against their will. Some of our families have always lived here and still to this day don't have their rights acknowledged, as we see daily as our Native American brothers and sisters stand up for Standing Rock. It is clear that the clear majority of undocumented workers in Boston simply work hard daily to take care of themselves and their families. They may or may not look like our families, but the spirit that drives them is identical. We are Boston, and they are Boston too. We are Boston, and we want our undocumented families to call the police if you have been robbed, cheated, assaulted, raped, hurt, or wronged. We are Boston, and we want our undocumented families to know that it is safe to send your children to school, and the Boston Public Schools will not take part in any national immigration sweep. We are Boston, and we want our undocumented residents to know that we want you to seek medical care if you need it. And we are Boston, and our city government and our city council is here to protect and help all of those who live in this city, documented or undocumented. We are Boston, and to our undocumented residents, neighbors, and constituents, you are Boston too. In 1847, a famous Bostonian by the name of Frederick Douglass let us all know that we are a sanctuary city when he uttered these words. Remember that we are one, that our cause is one, and we must help each other if we are to succeed. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much.